What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Got another real life riding video for you today, and this is a track that I had never been to prior to today. It's called Flackwell Heath. It's in the south of the UK. I'm surprised I haven't been here. It's just over an hour's drive for me, but in usual fashion I went out for my first session, just kind of got a feel of the track, didn't bother recording it. I didn't see much point in me just riding around on the pegs for the most part. But what I'll say about this track is, well, first of all, we got very lucky weather-wise. It was a bit cold in the morning, as it usually is in the UK, but the rain held off, and it wasn't a very busy day whatsoever. There was kind of like a maximum of maybe 20 people in each route today, so track didn't get too beat up whatsoever. By the end of the video, you'll probably see it gets a little bit choppy into some of the corners, but for the most part, just perfect. Exactly what I needed really to start working on my fitness again, and that was the main goal of today. Was really just to try and push myself a little bit more, and even when I feel like I can't really hold on anymore, just continue riding and do that extra 1 or 2 laps just to try and push my fitness a little bit. For this video I've cherry picked a few laps, you know, just that I thought that I was riding okay on. A hell of a lot better than the last video I done at Canada Rights, just because the track conditions suited me a whole lot more. I think they'd suit everyone a whole lot more than what I rode in last time. No super deep ruts or anything like that. The jump faces are nice and smooth, you know, there's no digs in them, no ruts or anything like that. So main focus for me of the day was A, work on fitness a bit, you know, just push myself. And when I say I was blowing out my arse after each session, I promise you I was. I've done maybe 4 or 5 laps hard pushing at the start of each session, which in comparison to what I was doing at Canada Rights, where it was like 2-3 laps, it's still a good improvement, I think, at least. And then the other thing of today was just get a bit comfortable in the air again. Now, I watched a video on YouTube, exactly as you're watching right now, of someone's GoPro around here, and I hate how GoPros make jumps look so small. This tabletop that I was hitting here, my bumhole was so puckered every single lap coming up to it, and then you watch it back on the GoPro and it looks tiny. It's so bloody frustrating, because I promise you, in real life it was massive. That's what he said. I'm saying it must have been maybe, oh, it's got to be over, it's maybe like 60-ish feet long, which to me is a big jump. Now, to be fair, if it had like a rutted face on it and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't have gone for it whatsoever. But throughout the course of the day, I was getting further and further and further, and then, you know, when you just keep barely coming up short on a jump and it's really pissing you off, because you're like, if I can jump another foot, I'm gold here. Like, I can downside it perfectly, I can save my arms from taking a battering every single time, and I won't bounce halfway into the next corner. And I got it a handful of times nicely, which I do show in the video. One thing that I noticed today that I really struggle with, and I'm sure I'm probably not the only person that struggles with this, is jumping next to people. Now, I'm quite confident in my own abilities to take like evasive action, however not in the air, and I don't have enough trust in everybody else that I'm riding with that they won't swerve or something like that. You see, like, I'm behind 2 guys here. I do hit this jump as well a couple times. I cut it there for some reason, but I didn't want to send the jump behind them or beside them. It's just I'm so worried about landing on people, and I feel like at a practice day, there's really no need to take unnecessary risks. You know, like, I was here for one thing, well, 2 things: get a bit more comfortable in the air and work on my fitness a little bit, and I feel like I could do that without having to send these jumps every single lap. And again here, like, some people probably would have sent this on the left side and jumped over this guy on the right, but I'm just so worried about something going wrong, because I've seen it in person a few times, you know, people getting landed on from swerving a little bit on the landing of jumps, and it's not a pretty sight, and we all have to get up and go to work the next day. Well, most of us do anyway, so don't want to be sending anyone or myself to the hospital. That's never the plan when you go out riding, is it? These 2 corners here, this little right and left, ended up being kind of the deepest ruts on the track, which, considering they're not really deep whatsoever, really nice. Which it makes my life a lot easier. That's probably going to be the next thing I work on, is corner entry speed, and then just corner speed in general, because while I was riding on this day, I felt pretty good. I felt like I was going somewhat fast. Obviously, GoPro does a very good job of making it look otherwise. It makes it like you're going very, very moderately speed. But I've noticed a lot that I coast a hell of a lot into corners, which is something that I want to work on, is just to try and accelerate that a little bit more and then get on the brakes a little bit heavier. And I'm guessing it's just to do with kind of fitness and forearms and fingers and stuff, and them getting tired. I personally find it quite difficult to pull in my my clutch and my front brake, for example, when I'm a couple laps deep and my forearms are pumped up. But I noticed throughout the course of the day, my so the first few couple, like 2 sessions, for example, my forearms were dead after like 4 laps. However, the 3rd session and the 4th session, they kind of ease off a little bit. I'm not sure if they just got used to the tempo, or I was just riding a bit smoother. I was trying to go out of my way to try and find smoother lines. They might not necessarily been quicker, but for the sake of saving my arms a bit and trying to get a little bit more out of the session, see, I hit it quite nicely there, and I managed to brake for the inside, which is a lot easier when you downside the jump perfectly rather than just come up short and then you bounce halfway to the corner and you got to slam on the brakes, and yeah, it didn't really work. But yeah, once I got a little bit of a flow going, my arms loosened up a little bit. Tried to focus on kind of squeezing the bike with my knees a little bit more, because that's something that I picked up on in the last video, something that my dad mentioned to me throughout the day numerous times. I have a really bad habit of soaking up the jumps by opening my legs slightly and letting the bike come up into me, when for some jumps where you're trying to get as much out of it as you can, you know, kind of compress the suspension, stretch the jump out of it. That's the opposite of what you want to be doing. You want to be squeezing your knees, staying on your tippy toes and trying to stretch the jump out a little bit. But I feel like come the last session of the day, I was fairly happy with where I was at. I hit every single jump on the track at least once, which is, I'm sure other people can relate. When you go home and there's one jump on the track that you've been eyeing up all day and you haven't hit, you go home so miserable. It's like, why didn't I just commit to it that one time? And I've had this at numerous tracks I've ridden there, and it's, if you do it once, somehow it all of a sudden becomes really, really easy to just do it every single lap. Of course, unless there's people right in front of you. But that's exactly the mentality that I went in today. When I walked the track in the morning, I was like, oh my god, I didn't expect these jumps to be this big in person. And I was like, there's going to be like this jump right here that I'm hitting, and the big jump on the opposite side of the track. I was like, I'm going to go home today hitting these two, or I'm going to be really pissed off. And I'm glad that I did. You know, sometimes you got to face your demons, and every single time I come up to the jumps, I'm just like, oh god, here we go again. Got to hit it one more time, and I'm hoping that eventually, after riding enough, that I'll be able to get over that and just ride a bit better. It was really, really nice to see. My dad was like genuinely happy with how I rode in some of these sessions, which then fills me with confidence because it makes me feel better about my riding. It makes me feel like I'm not being a burden, getting him to drag me out and take me to the track like every other week or every 3 weeks or so. So it was just a really nice day in general, really good mood all round. Had the whole family came, just know, like mum, brother, dad, all just came and had a watch. What a lovely way to spend Mother's Day. I did manage to, I gave my mum a box of like retro sweets on Mother's Day, just to, as a little something for like a thank you for coming and sitting in the cold and watching me toot all around the track. But I'm very, very happy that we went here, because as I say, it's a track that we've never been to before. It really isn't that far, and I'm quite surprised that it's taken me this long to get around to doing it, because if you're from the UK, mostly from the south as well, the one that I usually go to is called Wild Tracks in Chippenham. It's always been our go-to, you know, and after X amount of years of riding, you get bored of going to the same places over and over again, and it's just nice having something different. Oh, hang on, watch here. I have no idea why. So that little double on the left is obviously a different track layout. We didn't use it today. For some reason, I just completely forgot where I was, and I started going towards it. I was like, oh shit, let me just quickly swerve back onto the track, and it felt really nice, just kind of doing that mini, like the tiniest transfer in history from the jump to one of the rollers. Looked very pathetic on camera, but in the moment it felt quite nice. Felt like I knew what I was doing. As I say, this it's nice finding a new track that's, I say close, it's still just over an hour away, but that seems to be the general gist of things in the south of the UK. There's really not a whole lot about anymore, to be honest, and especially on Sundays. Usually I go riding on or practicing on Saturdays, but I was busy on Saturday. I had a few real life things I had to take care of that kind of sucks, but managed to get this going, and I was very, very happy at just how quiet it was for the day. Usually you'll walk around paddocks in the UK and you'll just like stink of weed, like kids running around screaming everywhere, and just puts a bit of a dampener on things. And it was a fairly quiet day, just got to chill at the van after each session. Things ran like clockwork. There was no red flags, there was no injuries, I didn't see any yellow flags about anywhere. So just a really nice, well-paced day. The sessions were 20 minutes long. There was only 3 groups, and I went in the intermediates again, although I think I might have been able to get away with going into experts. on the day, because I feel like I had the speed on most people on the track. Although I quite like when I go in inters, because I get to watch what the experts are doing and just seeing where I can improve. And there was a couple of them that were sending these massive tabletops just getting sideways, and I'm just like, you absolute arsehole. Here I am, barely clearing the thing, like pooing myself every single lap I come up to it, and you're just getting steezy over it. I hate you so much. But I suppose that's just a comfortability thing, isn't it? Maybe one day I'll get to that point. I have tiny little bits here and there, like there's a single jump somewhere, this little tabletop, I try and do a little bum whip, you know, turn the handlebars a little bit, but I'm just scared of looking like or looking like an idiot. I need to bleep out that word. I can't say that word on YouTube. Looking like an idiot is what I said. I didn't say anything else. I didn't bleep out anything else. But here, I stopped. For some reason, I thought I had a flat tyre. I had about half a lap where my back end was getting a little bit wild, so I thought, oh, you know, I'll pull over, see if I've got a flat E, and it was absolutely fine. I was getting inside my own head. This was the last session of the day, and once I'd done this, you know what happens when you stop and you get out of rhythm, your arms just completely go. So I'd done another 2 laps, I think. And then I'd called it by then. I could barely hang on at that point. I was very satisfied with how much riding I'd done at that point. You know, I was done 4 sessions, session 3 and this session now that you was watching. I was quite happy at how much I pushed. I tried to push through the arm pain for the most part, and it's quite nice as well. So my brother and Charlie have both thrown out the idea of going to the gym. So some of you will be watching this and you don't even know what I do on a day-to-day basis. So I make YouTube videos on video games, and one of my friends, Charlie, plays with me, and he wants to get back on the grind as well. You know, he rides in real life and he's feeling like he's a little bit on the hefty side right now. But that was it. That was the riding for the day. I feel like I've just talked for the entire time, so I hope I haven't annoyed you too much with the talking. Feel free to mute me if you just wanted to watch raw GoPro videos, but I am trying to be a YouTube channel at the end of the day. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like, leave a comment down below of what you thought of the riding as well. Everyone was so nice after the last video. More than happy to keep doing this anytime I do go riding, and let me know what you thought with the new GoPro angle as well. I used the under visor camera that time. I might tilt it down a little bit more next time so you can see a little bit more of the front mudguard. But overall, very happy with the day. Good day overall. And catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
My tent way too damn dark. Laugh in your face like man dark. Came a long way from the bad days way back. Had to burn down that landmark. Seen some things I ain't really want to see. It's all good, that's what made me me. Now who would I be if I had it easy? Used to break down, now I'm in a 350. Like whoa, I've been laying way too low. Had to switch up and change my flow, cause I'm back from the block. Had to bust some rocks and dust off the dust to get back in the box. Now why you wanna